Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'd like to discuss anxiety. Anxiety is a form of mental health condition that is not well recognized by the ordinary people. However, we know about depression and schizophrenia, but anxiety is actually far more common than schizophrenia and has a lot of economic, social consequences for the individual and for those living with the individual with anxiety. Anxiety is a form of fear. However, it is not an ordinary fear. It is a type of fear that is far more encompassing, far more incapacitating than the ordinary fear. We know that most religious books talks about some form of fear. In the Bible, it says that the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. We also know that most people are born with fears, such as children having fear of insect, bugs, fear of snakes, fear of the dark places, fear of clowns. However, as we grow up, we overcome those fears. We do not allow ourselves to be overcome or paralyzed by those. But as we are growing, we also begin to have a lot of experiences. Those experiences, some are traumatic, from physical, psychological, social traumas. From there, we develop new fears. Those fears may therefore become overwhelming. When somebody becomes preoccupied with those new fears, they allow those fears to begin to rule their life. They become completely engulfed in it, thinking about the situation 24/7, such that it takes over their life. They spend a lot of money trying to avoid the situation that provokes their anxiety. They begin to avoid work, school, social situations. When somebody has that type of fear, it becomes anxiety. It can also lead to panic attack. It can lead to different types of phobia, social withdrawal, etc. If you live with a person with anxiety, your life is affected, because if this person is your child, your wife, your spouse, your partner, you have to endure all those fears, no matter how irrational they may seem to you. So, in this episode, I'd like to focus on what to do and what not to do. One thing not to do is to cajole the person, to humiliate them, embarrass them, trick them, think that you can shock them out of those fears. That is not helpful. Talking down to the individual in those ways constitutes psychological torture, abuse to individual who is already traumatized. Also, trying to medicate the person out of fear and anxiety does not work in the long run. In fact, it creates a situation of drug dependency or drug addiction. Although in some situations, short-term use of medications may help, like on the person undergoing travel or person undergoing medical procedure may need medication. The purpose of the medication is simply to help the individual deal with those acute situations. However, what you can do for the person is to help them to validate their fear, even if it seems irrational to yourself. Help them deal with it, calming them, talking to the person in a calming, numbing voice, loving, understanding voice, understanding them. If you can help them avoid the situation, do so. But if you cannot avoid a situation and you must be exposed to that situation that provoke the anxiety, then helping the individual to prep them, reassure them, love them, holding their hand can be one of the best things you can do. Be present with them, let them know that the threat, even if you present yourself, you are there to help them, to support them, that nothing will happen to them, no harm will come to them. So those are the ways to help a person with anxiety, and also the opposite is ways not to handle a person with anxiety.